I had the crazy idea to do a podcast type thing, so I'm doing it YOLO! Don't ever say YOLO, seriously, kids. I want to do this so I can talk about things that I don't normally get to talk about. The podcast won't be any set length. Just however long I end up talking is how long I end up talking. And sometimes I may not have every segment if there isn't anything to talk about. In fact, right now, I'm not planning on having the podcast on any particular schedule, just on the basis of actually having material to make a podcast about. Right now, I'm just wanting to do it weekly? This may change in the future. The first segment will be me talking about any of my recent experiences, i.e. giving my thoughts on anime I've watched recently, or just anything interesting that's happened in my life. The next segment will be me discussing any anime-related news that I might want to talk about, or any kind of news, but mostly anime. One segment will be where I talk about smaller anime-related topics that aren't big enough for an entire rant video. If you ask me about how I feel on a certain thing, this would be a good place for me to address it in a way that lets everybody hear it. Asking me those questions via email is a good idea. One of the segments I'm most excited about is a segment where I read emails submitted by you, where anyone can ask for advice about relationships, emotions, sex, life, those kinds of things. I'm only 24, but I'm aware that most of my viewership is either younger than me or around my age, and I feel like I've had more than enough experience, both good and bad, with that stuff to be qualified to give advice about it. Please give me some kind of name to call you, not your full real name, please. That's not necessary. Just like a screen name, or your first name, or just call yourself anonymous or something. Don't tell me what city you live in either. And please don't disclose the full real names of anyone involved either, because I don't need to know that either. I feel my anonymity would definitely be a boon for something like this, as all that's really known about who I am is my first name, Justin. People might feel more comfortable sharing with someone they haven't seen the face of. You should know by the content of my videos that I may say some things that you aren't comfortable hearing, so keep that in mind. If you're asking for advice, you should be aware that you might not get the answer that you want to hear, but I'll still respect the fact that you're coming to me for advice, meaning I'll try not to insult you personally. The idea is that you're trusting me with personal information to give you advice, not to be mocked publicly. Also, please be at least moderately detailed when describing some situation you want advice about. I need more than just, I like this girl but she doesn't like me, what do? Also, please use complete sentences and proper grammar. That said, please tell me all about unrequited love and your desires to bang your sister at dracokast@gmail.com. That's dracokast@gmail.com. Cast spelled with a K. Please give the email a title that makes sense, like, I think my boyfriend is cheating on me, so I know it's not spam or something. If you happen to have any fan art of me or anything else anime related, you can send it there too, and I'll probably showcase it on the podcast. Unless it's like straight up hentai. Or maybe I'll make an exception if it's like hentai involving me and Goat Jesus. Oh god, what if it was like fan art of like the big black dragon being mounted by like that little white goat that Goat Jesus has as an avatar? Oh my god, I'm not going to give you ideas. And finally, I'll end each podcast with a song from a soundtrack of an anime, or potentially a Toho remix I like. This podcast is a work in progress and could change depending on what works and what doesn't. In the future, I'd occasionally like to invite guests to join me, but that's just an idea for a later date. So like I said, email me stuff and leave comments and shit and let me know if there's anything you'd like me to talk about. Peace!